بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم منها كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته لعلكم تهتدون. ولتكن منكم أمة يدعون إلى الخير ويأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر وأولئك هم المفلحون. ولا تكونوا كالذين تفرقوا واختلفوا من بعد ما جاءهم البينات وأولئك لهم عذاب عظيم. صدق الله. أصحاب الضيوف الكرام، إن شاء الله الشيخ معتصم يلقي المحاضرة أو يلقي التفسير إن شاء الله بالهدوء إن شاء الله في المسجد. الله سبحانه وتعالى قال: الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه أولئك الذين هداهم الله. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه. إن شاء الله نستفيد في الشيخ، إن شاء الله نرحب في الشيخ إن شاء الله بيد مفتوح. الله الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. وجزاكم الله وبارك الله فيكم. الشيخ فليتفضل مشكورا مأجورا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وبعد. So we start first with the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which our Imam quoted, Jazahullahu khairan. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه. The best among you are the ones who learn the Quran and teach it. So really, learning the Quran and teaching the Quran is a very powerful engagement. And it's not something random, that just learn the Quran, right? Just learn something, and it's not about this, because the Quran is extremely powerful. The Quran gives us a way of life with which we can navigate this world. It makes us wiser. The Quran tells us how to live, and it gives us the best way of living. And it tells us, it shows us what's right from what's wrong. And it shows us what's truth from falsehood. So the Quran is a very powerful engagement, by the way. And there is something extremely about the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, about the Quran, in Surah Sad, Allah says, كِتَابٌ أَنزَلْنَاهُ إِلَيْكَ مُبَارَكٌ. A book that we have revealed to you, O Muhammad. It is a blessed book. كِتَابٌ أَنزَلْنَاهُ إِلَيْكَ مُبَارَكٌ لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ. So that they may contemplate its verses. You want to bring it closer? No, that's good. Okay. Yeah, I think that's more comfortable. So it's a book that we revealed to you, O Muhammad. It is a blessed book. لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ. So they may reflect on the verses of this book. لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ وَلِيَتَذَكَّرَ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. And so that people of understanding can remember. The scholars say, some of the scholars of Tafsir, they say remember here means what? It means they recover their fitrah. The Quran awakens the fitrah within you. And we know, as the Prophet ﷺ says in the hadith, كل مولود يولد على الفطرة. Every child is born in a state of fitrah. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, the cousin of the Prophet ﷺ, says, Fitrah hiya deen al-Islam. Says, Fitrah is Islam itself. So all humans are born as Muslim. What does that mean? They know Allah. They love Allah. And they seek Allah. The heart searches for Allah, by the way. Every heart searches for Allah. But people take the different routes as to where to find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even the people who do bad things, by the way. People who drink alcohol, people who use drugs, people who do bad things. Originally what they're searching for is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But they didn't find the way of Allah. They found other things, and they thought that this pleasure is what their hearts are searching for. But they don't realize that what they are actually seeking is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Quran awakens that nature within us. It awakens us. It awakens the fitrah. And this is why, one of the reasons why it guides us. So the Quran is a very powerful engagement. Al-Hasan al-Basri, one of the tabi'een. Let me ask the younger ones, who are the tabi'een? Do you know the tabi'een? The younger ones, who are the tabi'een? Anyone knows who the tabi'een are? The sisters there, the younger ones, do you know what the tabi'een is? Okay, so do you know who the Prophet is? What's his name? Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And we have also the Sahaba. Who are the Sahaba? That's to get the kids a little bit engaged. Who are the Sahaba?
The Prophet's friends.
The friends of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his companions, Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and Ali and others, right? Now after the companions, there was another generation that came afterwards that learned from the companions. The companions, or the Sahaba, were their teachers. And we call these at-tabi'een. At-tabi'een. One of the great personalities in at-tabi'een, his name was Al-Hasan al-Basri. And Al-Hasan al-Basri is from which city? Al-Basra, in South Iraq today. Hasan al-Basri was a very wise man, by the way. Extremely wise man. One of his students says, كان الحسن البصري قليل الكلام لكن إذا تكلم قلنا ليته لا يسكت. Hasan al-Basri didn't speak much. He didn't say much. He would be quiet most of the time. That's what his student says. But he says, when Hasan al-Basri spoke, we wished he would never stop speaking. Because his speech was so beautiful, full of wisdom. So Hasan al-Basri says, أنزل الله القرآن ليتدبروه فأصبحوا يتأكلون به. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Quran so people could reflect on it and learn from it. So when we read the Quran, we have to reflect, we have to understand the meanings. Because Allah is telling us something in the Quran, and we need to understand what that is. So the Hasan al-Basri says that's why Allah revealed the Quran, but people decided to recite it, and for what? Sell it and just take money for it. That means they won't understand it. But the right way to deal with the Quran is to take it and understand it, learn it. Learn it. There are people, unfortunately, you will find people trying to sell the Quran with their voice. You find them in some countries in the street, they sit in the street, they recite Quran, they wait for people to pass by, listen to them and give them some change. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's not how we deal with the Quran. But we take the Quran, we learn it, we teach it. So this is why the best thing to do, as the Prophet said, is to learn the Quran and teach it. To learn the Quran and teach it. So we will try, inshallah, every Saturday to sit together, and we will, inshallah, try to start with the Quran right from the beginning, and we will reflect on these meanings. We will reflect on these meanings, and we will try to see how the Quran helps us live a better life. So we'll try to make it something that really touches on our daily life. Okay? So today we will start with the first surah in the Quran. What's the first surah in the Quran? Alhamd. What do we call the surah? What's the name of the surah?
Fatiha.
Al-Fatiha. Very good. MashaAllah. Al-Fatiha. And we all recite the Fatiha in the Salah, right? So we're going to start with this. We will talk about the meanings of each statement, but we will also derive lessons. We will take lessons. So the beginning of Al-Fatiha is after أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah, the merciful, the beneficent. And so we start in the name of Allah. Why? Because the name of Allah gives us blessings. The blessings come from the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If anything has nothing to do with Allah, there's no blessing in it. The blessing is taken away. The blessing is taken away. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Why? Because Allah is the merciful. He's the merciful, the beneficent, He's compassionate. He gives His mercy. So this is something important that we need to understand about Allah, that Allah is merciful. What does merciful mean? He's kind. It means He's loving. Yes. He forgives. Yes, excellent. This is a very positive meaning. And we Muslims are supposed to be also people who are merciful, people of mercy. We have to have mercy. Allah says to the Prophet ﷺ, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ. Because of the mercy of Allah, Allah made you soft with them, kind with them. So we as Muslims are supposed to be merciful. You're merciful to your parents. You're merciful to your mother. You're merciful to your father. If you are a father or a mother, you're merciful to your child. You're merciful to your friends. You're merciful to your brother and sister. You're merciful even to people in the street. You want good for them. There's nothing like having a pure heart. Having a pure heart. That's all. We take these meanings from what? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the merciful, the compassionate, or the beneficent. Let's move on now to Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdu means praise, means thanks. So that means we thank Allah, we praise Him. Why? Because of everything He has given us. He's given us everything we have. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. And if you try to count the blessings of Allah, now basically, practical way to do this, bring a sheet of paper and make a list of Allah's gifts upon you. The things that Allah has given you. Try to make a list. Okay? You can write thousands of things. And you can write literally, if you put the time and the effort, you can write millions of things and still you won't cover all the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because there are so many blessings of Allah that are hidden you can't even think of. You don't even know that they are there. We don't know that, for example, the speed according to which the earth goes around its orbit. If that speed was a little bit slower, we would not survive. There would be no life. We would die. It never occurs to us like there is a specific speed, right? This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَأَسْبَغَ عَلَيْكُمْ نِعَمَهُ ظَاهِرَةً وَبَاطِنًا. And Allah has showered you with His blessing as His gifts. Some of them are clear and obvious. You see them, you know them, you can put them in a list. And many of them are hidden. You don't even know about them. You don't even know that they are there. So this is why we say all praise is due to Allah. That means we thank Allah. We feel that we owe Allah so much. We can't pay Him back. He's given us so much because He's merciful, because He's kind. So that's why we say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Lord of the worlds. What does this tell us? Do you know what this tells us? This tells us something about the origin of the universe. The origin of the creation. This verse, when we say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, it tells us the story of the creation. Rabbil Alameen, what does Rabbil Alameen mean? In English, give me some meanings. Rabbil Alameen, what does it mean? Lord of the worlds, what does that mean? Break it down. What Lord of the worlds, what does that mean? Rabbil Alameen, what does it indicate? What does it tell me? He controls everything. Excellent. He's in charge of everything. Nothing happens without the permission of Allah. Nothing. The good things and what seems to be bad things, all of them happen only by the permission of Allah. Only what Allah allows happens. Because He's in control. He's in control. What else? What does it mean? Rabbil Alameen.
Above everything in the world.
He is above everyone, everything in the world. He has power and might. No one can compete against Allah. No one has any power and might against Allah. If Allah wants to take power away from someone, Allah takes it away. It goes. What else? Rabbil Alameen, what does it tell us?
Universe.
Huh?
Universe.
The what?
Universe.
Universe. What does it tell us about the universe?
He is owner of the universe.
He's the owner. Everything.
Creator of the world.
What?
The creator of
The creator of the universe. The creator of the universe. What does that tell us? That tells us at one time there was nothing. At one point in time, there was nothing. There was no earth. There was no moon. There was no sun. There was no planets. There were no stars. There was no skies. There was literally nothing. Nothing at all. In existence, there was nothing. Can you even imagine that? We can't even imagine it. We can't even imagine that at some point in time there was even no time. There was no time and there was nothing in existence but Allah. But Allah. Nothing in existence but Allah. We can't even, our minds can't even imagine this. We can't. We can't imagine that. What does that even mean? It's hard for us to figure this out. So Allah tells us He is Rabbul Alameen. He's the creator of the worlds. This is how we know where we came from. This puts life and existence in perspective. Where did the skies, the earth, planets, stars, all these suns all over the universe, the galaxies, the earth itself, the trees, the mountains, the rivers, the oceans, the metals in the earth, the dirt, the lava inside the earth. Where did all of this come from? Allah created it, right? Allah created all of this. That's what Rabbil Alameen means. So that's why we say, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So when you stand up in Salah, you say, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. This is a very profound statement. You say, Oh Allah, thank you. I praise you, Oh Allah. I recognize you are the creator of the universe. You brought all of this into existence. You made it. And it's yours. You own it. You have ownership over it. And you control it. And you run the whole universe. So when you're praying your salah, you say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, you should really feel, you should humble yourself. You're standing before Allah. And guess what? Guess what? The Prophet ﷺ told us in the hadith that when you say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Allah listens to you. Imagine when I say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Allah listens to me. When you say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Allah listens to you. Do you believe this? He listens to you. Not only He listens to you, guess what He does as well? He responds to you. He responds.